Breaking news, one of the biggest fights of the year, if not the biggest, Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia rematch. The only thing that's going to rival that is Crawford versus Canelo. Reports came out that Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia are actually settling out of court. Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia jointly asked the court Wednesday to pause proceedings for 90 days surrounding Devin Haney's lawsuit against Garcia due to settlement agreement. According to a legal document obtained by ESPN, Haney and Garcia are closing in on a deal for a rematch in the second half of 2025. Well, this is a huge W for Ryan Garcia. I mean, anytime he's going to get this big lawsuit out of his back, that's a big W. I mean, when you think about it, Ryan Garcia cheated Devin Haney by taking PEDs, skipping weight, and he was able to beat Devin Haney under these circumstances. Then later on, he got suspended after getting caught. However, he didn't do any VADA testing, so he could have had been juicing this entire time. And then after that, Devin Haney sues Ryan Garcia and Golden Boy. The moment when you think is all bad for Ryan Garcia, he announces an exhibition that got canceled. But then later on, he met with Turkey along with Devin Haney. And all of a sudden, we hear news Devin Haney agreed to fight Ryan Garcia. He agreed to his portion of the deal that Turkey offered him. However, Ryan didn't. Ryan said he wants Devin Haney to drop the lawsuit and he don't want to do VADA testing. And surprisingly, everyone is trying to do their best to make Ryan Garcia happy, including Devin Haney team. I mean, I never thought I'd see the day Devin Haney complying with what Ryan Garcia is requesting, including settling out of court, unless the settlement agreement is going to include Ryan Garcia giving up 30% of his purse to Devin Haney, or 40%, at the very least. If not, this is a huge W for Ryan Garcia. You guys just don't understand. He dodged a bullet because Devin Haney is so desperate to get it back in blood, which by doing so, he failed for Ryan Garcia's plan. Like I said before, unless the settlement agreement is going to say or state that Devin Haney is going to get 80% of the rematch against Ryan, then Ryan is the only one benefiting from this. At the end of the day, Turkey made a lucrative offer to both Devin Haney and Ryan. If Devin Haney accepted, then that's all that matters. Devin shouldn't have to go out of his way to please Ryan and drop the lawsuit for him to accept Turkey offer. That's nonsense. And he's leveraging how desperate Devin Haney is to get it back in blood to actually be in better position when it comes to this lawsuit and being free as a bird out of the cage. If the settlement agreement doesn't include at least 10 to 20 million or 80-20% split for the rematch, on top of that, some type of a clause to stop Ryan from lying. All this defamation Ryan has been putting out to the public, and Devin is just going to drop the lawsuit, especially when he doesn't have to. They can still fight while the lawsuit exists. Devin Haney better hope he's going to either completely dominate Ryan Garcia or making him quit on some no-mas like Leonard did against Duran. At the very least, win majority of the rounds without getting hurt. Because if Ryan loses and Devin Haney gets dropped a couple times during the fight, even if Ryan loses, that's still going to be a W, according to the race fans, because he still managed to hurt Devin Haney and drop him. So Devin Haney better make sure, if he's going to settle out of court, he's satisfied with however the rematch going to play out, even if it doesn't go his way. Right now, either Devin Haney is going to give up all of the leverage he built so far or utilize it. It all depends on how the settlement agreement is written. And we're going to know how is it written depending on how Ryan acts leading up to the fight. If he's still talking crazy, that means Ryan Garcia lawyers are top notch and Devin Haney lawyers drop the ball. But we'll see. Only time will tell. But the fact that they are settling out of court like Ryan wanted, That's a good look for Ryan. More importantly, the commission and everyone that was involved that was doing dirt behind closed doors. We were going to find a lot of dead bodies along the way due to this lawsuit. However, since Devin Haney cares so much about this rematch, as he should, more so than the sake of the sport, that's not going to happen. But at least there's a blueprint. When a fighter cheats, there are consequences. What's crazy, though, is Devin Haney was just complaining about Ryan not enrolling with year-round testing with VADA. So if Ryan haven't agreed to that, why are we even talking about settlement agreement and dropping the lawsuit? Ryan should be tested for at least 6 months heavily before the fight. So the fact that they talking about dropping the lawsuit before Ryan signs up with VADA is crazy. Why would you accommodate the cheater? Devin better know, once the rematch happened, there's no excuses. So he better get things in order. If Ryan finds another way to cheat or cheats again, no one is going to care, and Devin Haney only has his own self to blame along with his team on how they handled the settlement agreement along with VADA testing leading up to the rematch. I was trying to figure out still how Ryan got suspended without enrolling with VADA during his suspension, and Devin is already talking about dropping his lawsuit to do a settlement agreement just to please Ryan. With that being said, go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe below. And to be continued on the next episode of Akhi, Akhi TV. Peace. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Here's the way it works, and I'm sure Chris also understands, because Chris partially explained this to me as well. Here's how it works when you're microdosing. So you bigger dose off season, which is not when there's no fights and nobody's getting tested, because boxing's the Wild West and doesn't test in between fights. Yep. And then you're microdosing during camp. And when you're microdosing, it is trapped in the fat and therefore not going into your bloodstream, so therefore it's harder to catch you. When a fighter struggles to make weight, sometimes they're losing all that fat and you get a little bit of tricklage coming out of the fat, and the drugs will come out in small spurts. That's why they're always caught in small doses. And people, the moronic part of the population will say, oh, that's not enough to help him. No, that's just the part that finally leaked
It's the leftovers, essentially.
Yes, and because they struggle in weight, which is also a typical thing when you start to think about it, why guys keep moving up in weight. So there's less struggles when they're doping to make weight, and therefore they keep moving up in weight and keep showing no signs of weakening and no signs of aging and no signs of, we don't have to name names. The boxing's rife with it, you know? But nonetheless, now when I started to learn this part, because every single time a guy fails, I'm always asking questions and I'm always learning a little bit more. And this time, when it came to this microdosing situation, it's a big way to beat even the random drug tests, because it's not going to show up unless you're really draining yourself. So therefore, it makes sense why guys keep moving up in weight. So Ryan was struggling to make the weight, and he failed right at the end. But he passed in the middle of camp. This kind of explanation is an explanation worth looking into when it comes to his failed B test, B sample. As for the lawyers, they're going to play lawyer and they're going to manipulate it as much as possible and mention that he passed those tests in the middle of camp. Well, I just explained to you in the method that microdosing work why he would have passed the tests in the middle of camp but failed at the very end. Because at the very end was when he was drained. Remember, he struggled to make weight. He was drained, and therefore the substances start coming out, which also explains why he's now talking about fighting at welterweight, junior middleweight, super middleweight against Benavidez. You also get a little bit of sense of why he would do that as well if this is the case. So once you know how the science of it works, you start to really put things together. You can reach your own conclusions. If you want to be a groupie, you can and reach no conclusions. But I'm the person who's going to keep thinking about and keep thinking about not just fighters now, like Ryan, but also fighters in the past, fighters that have failed, fighters that have not failed, and so on and so forth. Really puts a light bulb over the situation.
Have you had a chance to talk to Saul? To Kyle, Ryan? Have you had a chance to talk to him?
Hey, what if a boxing league? Imagine a boxing league where you can do steroids. That'd be cool.
I think they have. It's called the enhanced game.
No, it's called Pride FC in Japan.
Is it?
Yeah, Pride.
That shit's nuts, huh?
Pride in the contract said you're allowed to use steroids. Hey, that's the only way it's even. Let everyone choose.
I think you've been in the ring with someone that sounds like
Oh yeah, I got Oscar Duarte was that motherfucker is crazy.
Why?
I hit him with some shit.
Yeah.
Bro, this thing
Terminated.
I'm like, okay, bro, relax.